For our project, we are going to demonstrate how we can use SDN to mitigate DOS and DDoS attacks. So before we start the attack, let's take a look at our topology. So for those of you that don't know what a DOS attack is, it's a denial of service attack. And basically, we're going to have an attack computer try and flood a router, or it could be a server, or in this case, we're going to be trying to DOS our controller. So we're going to be flooding our controller with a lot of data, and basically what's going to happen is it's going to become overloaded and basically freeze. So if this controller freezes, these switches are not going to know what to do, and so basically it's going to crash our whole network. So we do not want that to happen. So let's go ahead and jump over to our host 1 attacking computer, and I have command lined up. So I'm just going to go ahead and start trying to ping our controller and try to DOS it. Now I did try DOSing my home router, and it does actually work. However, I did a little differently. I made continuous pings and I changed the byte size to 65,000. So you can see the bytes right there. And I did this on about 10 different command prompts, and sure enough, within a minute, my router was overloaded and all network connectivity was lost. So it does work. Do not try to go home and DOS your grandma's network or DOS your neighbors, because you can get in a lot of legal trouble for doing this type of attack. So for our project, we're just going to make it simple, continuous ping to our controller, and we have the pings going. So as a network engineer, we get an alert our network's getting really slow. We're getting tickets in that people are losing network connectivity. So we're going to jump over to our management computer, which in this case is going to be our SDN controller. And we're going to use Wireshark to figure out what's going on in our network. So as you can see, we're capturing traffic. I'm going to filter it by ICMP traffic, which is going to be our DOS attack. So we can see our network's getting flooded with this DOS attack. In real life, it's not going to be like this, a couple packets a second. It's going to be thousands and 10,000s of pings. So I can see that this IP is going to our controller IP. So this must be our attacker, and we can go down here and we can figure out the source MAC address of our attacker right here. So we're going to use this to block this host from attacking us. Now let's go over to our SDN controller. This is what the interface looks like. We have tabs on the side that we can maneuver. For our project, we're using an application called FlowMaker Deluxe. It's sold by the same company, Northbound Networks, that makes the Zodiac FX switch, and it goes for about 30 Australian dollars. So just a quick overview of the application. We click on it and we can see all of our SDN devices. So in this case, we're going to be adding stuff to our switch 1, which is this one. So this is where we have our flow tables. And we already set up 2 flow entries. These are basically to allow traffic to go through the switch. So when it comes in port 1, we're going to output it to port 3. And when it comes in port 3, we're going to output it to port 1. So if we take a look back at our topology, we can demonstrate this. If traffic's coming in on port 3, it's going to go out port 1 and vice versa. So that's going to allow us connectivity in the network. So what we want to do is add a new flow entry to block this attacker from attacking us. So we're going to hit add, and we're going to add it to table 0. That's the one we're already using. And we're going to set priority to a higher priority than the other entries in the table, so that way it checks this first. So I'm going to give it priority of 1,000. And so we know the MAC address of our attacker right here, so we're going to use that to plug in our match criteria. So let's go ahead and type it in. And now what we want to do is select the protocol. So for the DOS attack, it's the pinging, and that's ICMP protocol and IPv4. Now what we want to do is apply instructions for it to drop or block the attacker. So we're going to apply actions, and we're not going to give it any action. So basically it's just going to drop the packet. So we're going to save the flow, and once we add it, it should stop the attacker. So we can do a refresh. We could see it got added to the top of our table 0, and we could refresh and we could see packets are getting dropped right here. So let's go back over to the attacking computer. And as you can see, we lost connection and the DOS attack has been mitigated. So we can go back and just unblock it to show you that it works. We could delete that entry and we should get connectivity back again. There we go. So that's how we can block a single attacker if it's just a DOS attack. Now a DDoS attack is similar, however, the attacker uses more than one computer. So we're going to keep the pings going on this computer, and also we're going to start pinging from this computer to simulate a DDoS attack. So let's hop over to host 2. Now on host 2, I'm running a virtual machine of Windows 7 just to add another attacker. So we'll have 3 attacking computers total. So let's just go ahead and start attacking the controller. Make it continuous. Here we go, and let's hop on this virtual machine. There we go. So our DDoS, I didn't make that continuous. So our DDoS is in effect right now. Let's hop back over to our management control PC. And so now what we can do is we can block each MAC address one by one. However, in real world, the attacker is not going to be using a couple PCs, most likely going to be 100 or more PCs. So it's not that efficient to block each and every MAC address. If we're getting DDoS attack, what we can do is just add a rule to block all ICMP traffic. So we're going to add another rule again. We're going to put it to table 0, priority higher. We're going to give it 1,000, and we're going to select ICMP protocol, IPv4, and we're going to apply the actions to do nothing and drop the packet. So let's add that. So that is on our switch 1. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for our other switch. On switch 2, table 0, give it a high priority, ICMP protocol, IPv4, and apply actions to drop it. So now if we go back to our attacking PCs, we should be all blocked. So this virtual machine's blocked. Let's check. This PC is blocked, and also our host 1 PC. So we're blocking all the traffic. And that is how we could mitigate a DDoS attack. Now for our project, we're just using FlowMaker Deluxe. It's a simple, cheap program that we can use with SDN. It doesn't have the capability of automatically detecting this malicious traffic and pushing out these entries to the network. However, there is software out there that has the capability of detecting traffic and mitigating it and pushing out entries to the SDN switches automatically. So we won't, as a network engineer, we won't ever have to go in here and do it.